Wait for it, yeah. Wait for it, yeah. Wait for it, yeah. Wait for it, yeah. SheHH.
Hey guys, it's Pamela from the SheHH Podcast team, and welcome back to SheHH, where we interview women in Christian music all over the world. Welcome to series 3 of the podcast. Today we'll be speaking to UK singer and songwriter Asha Elia. She talks about her musical journey, her experience doing music full-time, and her Spotify playlist Vibes and Glory, plus much, much more. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at SheHH Podcast, and share this episode with a friend.
So, hey Asha.
Hey!
Welcome to the SheHH Podcast. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
So, we're big fans. I'm a big fan. SheHH, we're big fans of Asha Elia. But for people who don't know you, could you please introduce yourself?
I'm a UK-based singer-songwriter. Been going for about maybe 4 years, around that time. And I make R&B, Afrobeat kind of music.
Nice. And maybe say to us, people who are close to you, maybe 3 words that they would use to describe you.
I would say, bubbly.
Nice.
Very, wise. People would say that's about me all the time.
Very wise, but hyphenated. Very wise.
And what else? What's the word? Focused.
Nice words. So yeah, you mentioned that you've been doing it for 3, 4, 5 years. I went and found that your first single was Serve back in 2018. I remember being at uni and everyone sharing this song, and I was just
Really?
yeah, literally, I remember being who is this girl? I really like this song, and I didn't know who you were, but I remember hearing the song. And over the years, you just put out singles for a few years before the actual EP dropped in 2020. New Woke Deal.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about dropping your first EP back in 2020.
I really enjoyed the experience just because I was able to put a storyline together, and it just felt completely different to a single. It felt like an actual piece of me. Not that singles aren't, but it was just way more put together.
Yeah. Now I can imagine, especially if you've come from dropping a few singles, letting people start to know you, building a fan base, and then it's how many songs were in the EP? 5, I want to say.
Yeah, around 5.
Yeah, I remember 5. Yeah, 5. I just remember the blue cover art, and I was just oh my gosh, this is so cool. And that's one of the first things of you that I knew. But I was introduced to you. I don't know if I told you this, but I was introduced to you as an artist, and then began following you from your feature on SheHH with Lemon Blaze.
Yeah, I hear that quite a lot.
And I remember being who is this girl in this song? I loved it. And yeah, he's one of my favourites. And he's also our friend, but he's great. And I remember listening to it and just being whoever this is, her voice is amazing. I need to go and hear more of her stuff. And that's when I went backwards and then found other stuff. But yeah, the question is just about collaborations, what it's featuring on some of these people's music, maybe some of your favourite collaborations. Let us know.
Some of my favourite collaborations, definitely SheHH. Definitely gets the spot. What else? I just dropped one with Raymaz and Bridge. That
Nice.
one, is beautiful. I'm loving it.
You've been on fire though. Every week is hi guys, new song. And I was just and they're good. They're actually good.
Yay! Quality and quantity.
Quality and
hopefully.
quantity.
What other ones? There's been so many. In Control with Shady. I just sang that. Maybe
good.
it's just at the top of my head.
Yeah,
but
you
I did
performed
like
it
that one.
recently.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. This is not about me, but one of my favourites, personally, is Dreams.
Oh, yeah.
With one Miss Shireen, who we're big fans of over at the podcast because we had her on series 2. Love Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Dreams was the one that I think showed me that, UK girls are here to stay in this scene.
Really?
Because it was not only UK people loved it, people outside the UK would talk about this song. And I was but did you know that there are girls, there are UK people?
Yeah.
And people were just so surprised that this music was coming out from the UK.
Crazy.
So definitely one of my favourites. And you guys are friends. So.
Yeah, she's one of my closest friends in music, so...
That's so nice. Yeah, she mentioned you in her interview as well, so I love that it kind of balances out. So you're an artist, as we've established, but you actually do music full-time, or do you do creation and art full-time? Right?
Music and content creation. Which
Music
goes
and
with the
content
music,
creation.
so.
So what does your day look like when you wake up? And
Every day is different.
I feel like that's the conventional answer.
I literally wake up and I look at like my to-do list and I decide, okay, what's urgent for today? And then I just try and get it all done.
Mm-hmm.
But every day feels like there's always something to do.
What's some of the like topics and some of the like areas of things you're usually working on?
Like even like before this interview, like doing the Missguided, taking the Missguided clips, I'm wearing it now, and going out and taking photos, and then coming back, and then if you weren't here, I'd be recording a feature. Do you know what I mean? Like, or I'd be planning my TikToks. So yeah,
that's so fun. You're living the dream. Like you're doing what every creative wants to do, just like create, you know.
Yeah.
And you mentioned this Missguided like clothes and stuff, but like, what does that mean? For someone who doesn't know, what's that?
So basically, they give me clothes and I just take pictures with them. So it's kind of like I get the clothes and then I'm just promoting them.
Oh, nice.
And I get to choose.
She's basically saying she's an ambassador. Like,
yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, and I think for me, it's like I know personally, I'm on a budget. Like as a full-time artist, the budgeting is real. So, I think what I'm passionate about with the Missguided is just finding clothes that are moderately modest. Like we're not like Muslims, but at the same time we don't want everything hanging out. So, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Trying to look cute, but also, you know, saved and sanctified. Yeah. What's that? No, but Missguided is not known for like this. Its holiest outfits.
Exactly.
So how are you making it work?
It takes me ages to scroll through and like find it because like once I get it, I can't return it.
Yeah.
I have to make everything, all the sizes are cool. So yeah, it takes me ages, hours.
So that's part of the content creation and stuff. You do. Yeah, and I thought as well, you release a lot of content on Reels, on TikTok, in your stories. So this is all planned and things are like prepped and stuff like that. Are they? Are they planned? Are they prepped? Or is it like spontaneous?
I'll spend like hours scrolling through TikTok to find ideas. And then the next morning I'll go and film. Yeah.
I like it. It works. So yeah, I talked about all the collabs that you've been a part of. I would love to know maybe someone that you would love to collaborate with. So maybe it's not in the works yet or you're talking to them or something like that. But what's a collaboration that would be like a dream collab for you?
Montel Fish.
Really? That makes sense. You guys' style makes... Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
And it nearly happened, but I think it took too long and then he'd moved on by then.
That doesn't mean it's a door closed. That just means,
in the future. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, Montel, it's me.
I'm free again.
The girl that took a while to get back to you. I'm ready. No, I feel like that could be a great sound. I think sonically, you guys make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Montel, if you're watching this, I don't know why he would be watching this, but if you are, please hit up our girl Asha. We want it to happen. So you had mentioned I think you did a live a couple weeks ago or maybe last week, and you had mentioned you have a project in the works. Or something in the works. An EP in the works. Mm-hmm. What can you tell us without getting yourself in trouble or anything? What can you tell us in terms of this new project coming out?
It's just vibes.
Okay.
So I didn't really focus on as like a storyline like New York Deal. It's more so just exploring different sounds and different ways that like my voice can sound as well. So yeah, it's mostly like a Mapiano Afrobeat type. So it's just fun.
That's nice. You even talked about like exploring sounds, and one thing I think I've noticed going back from like your older stuff till now and a lot of your collabs is that you have definitely found a sound that's very niche to you in terms of, I don't even know how to describe how your voice sounds, but even with like Afro beats and R&B, it's also very like angelic and there's a word we talked about one time when you were about to go on stage at the Imprint concert and you described your voice somewhere and I was like, yeah, that's the best way to put it. But
I wonder what I said. Airy?
Airy. It was like airy and light, but also like with like vim. That's the only way I can explain it. So how did you develop that sound and how did you know that this is the way I'm supposed to go?
I think for me, like from the start, probably that's why I got started in music is because I couldn't find music that people were singing like how I sing, because especially within gospel, a lot of it is like belty, like
hefty,
bringing everything to the table, which is amazing. But I was just like, I just want some easy listening because I was used to like Jhené Aiko and stuff.
Yeah.
And so like, even though I didn't class myself as a singer at the time, I just thought, okay, I can at least just try and whisper on the track. Also because also because I actually, for longest time ever, and still I'm not as comfortable as I could be, I haven't really liked my chest voice or like my mixed voice. So like I've only really been comfortable in the falsetto anyway. So it was kind of like the perfect opening to start. And even now I'm getting more comfortable. Like with New Me, I wasn't really singing falsetto. And nights like this, I didn't really sing falsetto. So yeah. Now I'm just exploring different
ways your voice can go. That's what we want to hear, you know. It's all about growing as an artist, and I think the fans enjoy that as well. But it's so funny that you would say that you didn't hear anyone that sounded like that, so you said, okay, I'm going to be that solution. And I think that's why people gravitate towards you, because there isn't many that sound like you. And even as I was saying, oh yeah, you and Montel Fish sound good phonetically, sonetically, it makes sense because there was a gap in the market for even like Sarah Natalie. I feel like you guys.
Yeah, she's like my soul sister.
That's why Rejoice made so much sense. Like all three of you, Rebecca, love Rebecca. Like you three just made sense together because you all had that, like, not that you sounded the same, but you had that kind of same
similarity.
vein. Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah's inspired me so much.
She's amazing. And she's a great producer.
Yeah,
she's also on this series of the podcast.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Her episode will be coming out hopefully soon. But yeah, no, we really appreciate that sound that you give, and I think it's also something that people don't expect in Christian music. So it can even appeal to people outside of the church. So as well as like producing music, you're also curating music playlists, you're also designing stuff, you're also creating content. You have a playlist called Vibes and Glory. Can you tell us a bit about what Vibes and Glory is all about?
So I actually created it on the day that Serve, my first song, was released.
Oh, nice. What, like, back in 2018?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was like, there's not really any playlists that have this kind of sound, like R&B, like, because everything was SheHH back then. So I thought, let me just create a Christian R&B playlist. And then from there, I think it's just naturally grown. I think because it stood out, and like we said about like the whole voice thing, when there's a gap in there, like there's not as much of that, then people are more likely to like gravitate to it, because like that's, you're giving people what they need.
Exactly.
So I
what
think,
they're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's just like a principle that I've tried to take into everything that I go into, like actually thinking, okay, what do we actually need? And let me give it to them.
Nice. And that makes sense. Yeah. If they're looking for it, they will find it, and they will gravitate towards it. How did it develop from just the playlist to T-shirts and merch? Even like, okay, sorry guys, like Maverick City were like, hey, we love your shirt. Like, what?
I want to send some to them.
How?
I think at the start it was just a playlist that could like help incorporate my music and show people my music. But then as more Christian like R&B artists came up, like every year there's so much more, and I just stopped having to like struggle and add rap to the playlist. Like now it's mostly just like R&B stuff, which is what I wanted it to be in the first place. And I realised this playlist is so much bigger than me.
It actually is.
Exactly.
You're putting people on to like new artists and stuff like that. Like
so like I think realising that it's kind of, it's a culture, it's even more than music, even like what Vibes and Glory stands for, like it's in the name, like the vibes, but like giving glory to God. So like I just realized that that's way more than just any sonics as well, like it's a lifestyle. So then I thought, okay, like how can we kind of have that represented in everything that we're going into? And also I started t-shirts because I was looking for graphic tees, and I couldn't find any that were like sick. Like all the sick looking ones had like skulls and death on them and stuff.
No, I remember there was a year when skulls were a thing. They want everything. You get tights with skulls, like t-shirts, and you just be there like,
exactly.
Can you rest, guys?
And even like some of like the writing and stuff, just for me, I just didn't feel comfortable wearing that on my body. So I thought, let me just create one that I can really back and stand behind. Because also I wasn't really feeling as much of the Christian brands. There are some that I really love. I can't remember the name of it. You know, the one that's big, Provisional Grace.
Oh, Provisional Grace. My sister loves
I need to get some of that stuff.
My sister loves their stuff.
I just realized there wasn't much like variety in brands. So I thought, let's go.
Oh, you should try Native Supply. So it's a brand by KB, the rapper. All the clothes there, like they can actually take all my money.
Oh, cool! I'm gonna check it out.
Really, really good. Like it's just that they're not very expensive. They're a little bit expensive, and then because we're in the UK as well, shipping over is a bit long. But
Okay.
Love their stuff. Like, sorry, this is the time to do a little ad for them. No, I mean, even down to like designing the tea and like coming up with how it would look, because it doesn't look like, it's not crosses everywhere. It's not like, this is a Jesus t-shirt, but then it's like really nice to wear. How did you come up with that and then get it out to people?
I think because I wasn't raised in the church, I feel like I have sometimes a bit of a different perspective because a lot of my friends aren't saved.
Okay,
so like
that's interesting. Talk about that.
So like I feel like it makes it easier to not put out corny stuff because I know what's actually cool. I don't know if I'm sounding big-headed.
No, you're not. Please, I grew up in the church and I knew exactly what you mean. I was like, you better drag my life. Yes.
So yeah, like I feel like, so from there, and as you know, like everything's on a budget. So I literally went onto Fiverr and found the designer that I wanted and was like, okay, I inspired by this, and this. We want this, and then he did it for me.
Oh wow! I really forget that some artists like don't, because a lot of the stereotypical way that artists become artists is you sing in church, someone notices you can sing, they support you, and then you eventually become an artist.
Okay.
That's a lot of people's stories. That's my story. That's my friend's stories. So when I hear someone who's like, oh yeah, I didn't grow up in church, I came to Jesus and I do this now.
Yeah.
I forget that how transformative like the power of God is. So in fact, let's even go to your testimony. Like, as much as you want to say, how did you come to know Jesus, and then why did you then go and say, I want to like make music? Because you could have sang and you could have really been like another R&B singer.
So basically, I became a Christian when I was 18, when I went to university in my first year, and like it completely changed my life because before that I was like partying, drinking every night, like sleeping around, like just like normal teenager stuff, and I just thought there's got to be more to life than this. So I became a Christian, got saved, and then like a couple years later, I don't think I would be an artist or a singer if I wasn't a Christian. Because only because I was a Christian, I was like, where's the gospel music that sounds like this?
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean?
But were you not singing like in your room, and didn't you
in
know
my shower?
But did you know you could sing? Were you like, oh, that sounds good? Or were you just like, oh, this is the thing I do?
I liked my falsetto voice sometimes. Like, it was... I didn't think I could sing. Like,
wow.
Nah.
Sorry, I'm actually like, you're just like, wow. Okay, so then you come to Jesus and you're like, where's the gospel music I like?
Yeah.
And you say, oh, let me do it. Was it a thing of let me do it so I can listen to it and my friends can listen to it? Or was it let me do it so I can, achieve world domination? Like,
no,
what was the plan?
It was just so that it could exist. And I think as well, because I didn't class myself as a musician, being in uni, I made friends with loads of musicians and I saw that they were doing it. So I was like, I don't know how to do this, but can you help me? Kind of thing. Yeah. So even like when I was recording Serve, my friend who produced it, he literally had to walk me through it line by line to make sure that I wasn't flat, to make sure everything was properly on pitch, on key. And so it was just really awkward when I released it and it kind of blew up. Then being invited to shows to sing, I'm like, I can't sing.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was very surreal.
My gosh. When do you think you got to a point where you were like, God is calling me to do this? Because obviously you're doing it full time, so you must believe in it now, right? It's not your
I believe in it now.
That's good. Where did you get to that point?
I would say after I wrote Serve, I didn't release it first. I released a song called Evidence on YouTube and SoundCloud. Oh yeah,
that's on New Work Deal, right?
The new version of it.
Okay, the new version. The upgraded version.
Yeah, and so I released Evidence and then I released Serve officially, and I thought, wait, like people are actually loving this. Let me carry on. And then that was it. Like me seeing other people's response was like, okay, I'm in the right place. Yeah.
There's actually a word in that. I feel like as artists, as fans of artists, we need to let you guys know that we're enjoying the music, that we're blessed by it, that there's testimonies from it, because sometimes the artist just needs that encouragement. So
oh, definitely. Yeah.
That's really good. Sorry, this is completely sidetracked my whole interview, but I'm just like so overwhelmed by the goodness of God, because even just you coming to Christ means that so many other people who've been blessed by your music now have an opportunity to come to Christ because you said yes and you made a song and you kept making songs and people kept saying, Asha, this is great. Imagine like people in their rooms vibing to the song, or, they didn't say to you like, we like it.
So true. And it also makes me think of like, there's so many creatives that are not delving into things because they're waiting for like God to say yes.
Mm.
But it's really like, just try it. Like, the worst that can happen is, you know, it's not for you, you move on to something else. And
Yeah.
sometimes even the things that you go into that you realize is not for you lead to the thing that is for you.
That's
So it's just
good.
like, yeah.
I'm actually blown away. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. I was like, yeah, so what choir were you singing in? Like, I thought you were going to be like, oh, yes, to sing my church choir. Like, that's just the
I
story.
sang like a tiny bit when I first got saved, but like the choir was so bad that it wasn't really a choir.
Okay. So that wasn't a part of like establishing like
No,
you.
like, it's the kind of,
Wow.
it was like 3 people in the choir, and like, you know, you just turn up and just sing. Like,
Just think, yeah. No, I know that very well. Trust me, I do. I know it very well. And so, yeah, during this time of, you know, starting with Serve and or your first song and doing singles, then the EP drops, then you start to do more, you're doing collaborations during this time, obviously really high profile, really great songs. And then you're winning a couple albums, winning a couple awards, being nominated for stuff, most recently Female Artist of the Year at a Step Forward award show. That makes so much sense because you had a great 2021.
Thanks.
Like 2021 was the year of Asha, honestly.
Wow.
No, it was.
Oh my god.
Every like 20 minutes it was like new song and it was
Crazy.
good. So how does it feel to be like honoured and just like, not even just honoured, but just like told like well done by like the industry?
No, honestly, like that was, it meant more than I think anyone will know.
Oh.
Just because of like the ADHD thing that I mentioned sometimes on social media, like it was really hard to push through. Like every day I was waking up thinking I am not doing enough because I knew how much time I was wasting. And even the other people would be like, Ash, you're so busy. Ash, you're doing so much. It was like, no, I'm fighting every day to get these songs out. So at the end of the year, I was exhausted.
I can imagine.
So
Did you take a break though? Did you rest a bit?
No.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know, maybe a few days like over Christmas. But yeah. Yeah, so by the end of the year, like getting that award, it was like, wow, God, we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made
That's
it
so
through.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you just touched on, you speak on social media about ADHD and like working towards getting the diagnosis. Have you had it? Have you had the
No.
Okay, you're working
But
towards
I'm
it.
like, yeah, it's like every single symptom for inattentive ADHD, I have it. So
We've actually talked about this because we were trying to set up this interview like last year. I don't know if you remember, but we emailed you in like November last year.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is we were doing stuff, so we had seen each other like the limo shoot and stuff. And I was just like, I know Asha doesn't hate me.
No, not at all.
I remember saying to the girls, like the SheHH girls, they were like, oh, so have you booked Asha's interview? And I was like, no, guys, she might not like me because.
You said,
No, I was kidding though. Because
okay.
we would see each other in person or we
Yeah.
would message or you'd be like really supportive on social. And I'm like, she definitely likes us. And it must be something, she must be going through something else because this doesn't make sense. Like you would message me and be like, yeah, we're setting this for this. And then you'd be like, then you wouldn't say anything and I'd be like, oh no, she doesn't want to do it anymore. And then you messaged me and you explained, oh yeah, I'm really just trying to fight through with certain things. And I basically said, that makes so much sense. Thank you for telling me. I'm also neurodiverse. And so I understand like how difficult like everyday things are for people.
Yeah.
And so she was just like, thank you for being gracious. Like, I thank you for understanding. And then we set this up and it was fine. But I think even just knowing that was really good information for me to understand that I wasn't like annoying you.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I'm messaging her too much. Like, she's busy. I'm like, I need to stop. But how does like, you said every day it was literally like a fight, but like, how does it actually affect like producing music daily?
I don't produce music daily.
Okay.
Because even though like I find like making music okay, but unless I'm in a hyper focused mode,
Okay.
to sit at this desk and make music feels like a myth. There's so many distractions around, like whether it's I don't know, going grocery shopping with my mum or like making dinner or making content. There's just so many different things that I could be doing that. Yeah, it's a struggle. It's definitely a struggle.
And what have you found that's actually like helped you? Because you've spoken about this as well.
Yeah.
But what has been like things you've implemented to help?
So in terms of making music, I'm still working through that.
Okay.
But in terms of everything else in life, calendar and to-do list.
Yep. Preaching to the choir.
If it's not there, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, literally, I think I forgot to hang out with my friend the other day. I planned it like one day in advance. The next day, completely forgot. she turned up at the venue on her own.
Oh no.
No, it's that bad, like my memory. So
Yeah,
calendar and to-do list, definitely.
No, I completely get that. Like,
Mhm.
I'm dyslexic and my memory is really bad. Everything's in my calendar, everything's on my phone. And that's why when we were talking, I was like, no, I want you to understand. I understand. And I mean, to an extent as well, because it's different. But
Yeah.
no, if it's not in my calendar, you won't see me there.
Yeah, that's literally
You'll be calling me. I'm in my house.
Yeah.
I'm actually in my house. Sorry.
You actually understand.
Yeah,
100%.
so that's complete. That's why we sent the invite and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally fine. And I understand, and I believe that you have like gracious people around you who have been supportive and encouraging through this.
Yeah, I think it's been quite like a recent revelation, like probably the last maybe like 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And then before that, like my family and friends, I think there was like, I remember my sister just thought I didn't care about certain things because she'd say, hey, can you plan this up or set this up? And I was just like, it's gone out my head. Like she was. So I had to explain to her, look, I genuinely care. But yeah, I'm neurodiverse.
And has that helped? Like, that conversation, has that helped you?
Yeah, I think it has.
I feel like people are more like accepting and understanding now, which is good. Yeah, because my parents have the same thing. Like, because I don't live at home, like I'll literally be like, oh yeah, I'll come and do this, and then they'd be like, hey, it's me again. Like, and I'd be like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Do you have any kind of encouragement? Sorry, I'm really dwelling on this because this is definitely something that I don't hear a lot of like creatives talk about, being neurodiverse, and especially Christian creatives, because I think it is a recent thing that people are starting to like finally get diagnosed for. Yeah. Like, I got diagnosed in my final year of uni, which was not helpful because I had to struggle all for education. Like, it's not helpful. You get to the end, you're just like, oh, by the way, have you done a dyslexia test? And I'm like, what?
Wow.
What is that? Is that a drink? Yeah, I think people are a lot more accepting now. But I just wanted to ask if you have any encouragement for someone who feels like they might be neurodiverse, they might have like dyslexia or ADHD, even like autism or anything on the spectrum, who feel like they have been limited in what they can do. Obviously, you're an example, and I'm an example, by God's grace, of what the sky is the limit. But do you have any encouragement for someone?
I would say like just focus on finding strategies, because it's like we have our own like superpowers as well. Like, it's not all negative. Like, I would say if it wasn't for like the way my brain is, because Serve was the first song I ever like wrote. Mm-hmm. Now, like whose first song they ever wrote reaches 1 million streams? Like,
that part.
Do you know what I mean? Like, me deciding, okay, I want to write a song, and then that same song, like, so I think without that kind of the way my brain works of making sure things are so specifically good. Yeah. And that's a part of the ADHD too, because I was so hyper focused on it. So like, just like seeing the positives and then taking the pressure off in terms of some of the things that can hold back and not. I kind of guess for me, I used the understanding of it to take away the shame, because like, especially as a Christian, I was wondering like, why every time I sit down to read my Bible, like, I can't concentrate. Do I not love God?
Are you an unbeliever? Like, what's going on?
It would get me down. I was like, I'm not even saved.
No. Oh no.
So like, and especially as a Christian artist, because like everyone holds you to a standard of, oh my gosh, you're like super saved. And it's just not true. So yeah, I think definitely like taking the pressure off, exploring our minds in a way that is like shame-free and just really accepting, but at the same time knowing that there are solutions. We just have to work a different way sometimes.
That's good. That's really good. I feel like a lot of people need to hear that freedom, especially from someone who they see on like, and like you said, might put on rightfully or unrightfully so on a platform, and they're just like, oh, okay, well, if she's like that, she's still, getting things done, maybe I can too.
And it's a journey, because I'm not getting everything I want to get done, but we're working towards it.
That's so encouraging. I remember seeing a story when you were talking about like overcoming shame, and like you had just said about shame, you've done like things about the psychology of relationships. Like, anyone who follows you on Twitter or even sees your stories, you talk about topics that I think people think you're supposed to like study and secretly do by yourself. And these are conversations that we should be having publicly. So
I actually want to talk about it more, because I think the thing that led me to kind of get passionate about wholeness was when I got saved. I just thought like, oh, I'm great now. Like, any traumas in the past is gone. I'm a new creation. But I think that's just not the way it works. Like, it's a process with God. So I thought, oh, let me just get with someone that loves God, marry them, and like be happy ever after. But honestly, it was the most toxic relationship ever. It ended up being really abusive.
Oh no.
Like so bad that like the police got involved and stuff. He got arrested. Like,
oh no.
yeah, like it was really bad.
Wow.
Like, yeah, there was physical abuse, like sexual abuse, like just really bad stuff. And like when it ended, I just thought, actually, like there's things that I need to deal with that I've kind of just been sweeping under the rug because it's like, oh, I love God, I'm a Christian now, everything's great, and kind of being, what's the word? You know, when you kind of you clock out like passive towards your issues, disconnect from your issues, and that's like a trauma response.
Yeah, it's survival.
I thought, let me actually search up what healthy relationships look like, because like as a Christian who I come from a background where I haven't seen healthy relationships. That doesn't just magically come when you become a Christian. So I thought, let me research what health looks like, just like the insides of me and the insecurities I have and like the patterns. Let me explore all of this.
The patterns.
And yeah, I've seen so much fruit from it. Like I feel like a completely different part of it. There's still so much more left to do. So
yeah, there's always more on the journey.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, when you were talking about it, it always came from like a place of passion and never from a place of judgment, which is what I love about you. Because I think sometimes when female ministers are talking about something, it comes from a, wow, you're still doing that. You're still there.
I understand that.
Whereas everything you ever shared, and like you weren't like out here putting your business on deck, but you were always like, like, look what happened to me. You were just like, everything was in first person, which I think you don't realize it's such a small but powerful thing. Doing stuff from I used to be this and now I'm like this, as opposed to you're probably like this, is like, it's very way together.
Because sometimes it like I feel like, oh, everyone's saying you, maybe I should say you. And so I actually started to change it, but now I'm going to switch it back.
I feel like saying you is not a bad thing because it's like you individually.
Yeah.
But it can come across from I'm whole now, you should get like me.
Yeah.
When you're trying to say I'm getting whole, follow Jesus as I follow Jesus kind of thing.
That's so wow.
So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I've never seen it like that before. Yeah. Wow.
I'm glad it's encouraging you. But I think, my question is more, how do you get the boldness to do that? Knowing that you're opening up yourself for like critique or people being like, oh my gosh, Asha's not as perfect as we thought or whatever. Why do you feel?
I think I try to stick to things that I've kind of worked through to an extent, because I don't want to just like spread brokenness everywhere, because it's like, who's that encouraging?
Sorry, that's so good. So please continue.
So I feel like I worked through a lot of it by myself, and then I would just share like the resources that I was reading and be like, okay, I'm reading this, you guys can read this too. And I forgot the question.
Where did you get the boldness and confidence to do it?
Yeah, so I think like for me, everything has to come from a place of not just sharing myself for no reason, but I'm always thinking about who can this encourage. And so that always, like even like in my songs and stuff, just having that at the forefront of my head of, okay, I'm doing this for that girl over there who's been through this and she hasn't got any. Oh, I'm gonna start crying. Let me not cry. But yeah, doing it for like that girl who doesn't have. Oh my gosh. Why am I crying?
Oh, you want me to start now as well?
No, you get the picture. So yeah, like, and even it's like praying with my followers, or not even just followers, but just like friends I've actually made like online.
Yeah.
So like praying with people, with young girls and stuff, and even some like young boys, and it's just like, it's just been so powerful. And I've realized people need to hear this.
They need to hear it.
So when I'm coming from a place where people need to hear this, it's so much easier.
Since you're gonna actually have me, I'm like, bring them back in. No, I really appreciate you being passionate about this and even just sharing it, because I think that's part of the reason why you have such a dedicated and like engaged following, who when you drop any kind of news or any kind of music, they're really like, cool, let's go and listen to the song. And people will be making TikToks and stuff to your music as on the day it drops and stuff like that. What advice would you give to the up-and-coming artist who is trying to build that community and fan base?
I would say study it, because there are so many like experts in building communities that have written books and have made videos. So like learn from the best. And I think like all in all, it's not really about numbers or kind of like, you know, building followers, but it's more so about connecting with people. I think when we come at a place of like empathy of, okay, how can I give people what they want, what they actually need, and like serve, like what Jesus did, but just on social media, then it all comes naturally. So I say focus on like how to see things from other people's points of views and how to connect with people in a genuine, authentic way. And then it comes.
Yeah, I feel like you do that, especially even just responding to comments on
it's even like, because that was actually something that I read in a book, which was like, return every handshake. It's like, if someone has made the time to comment on it, like the least I can do is just say hi back. Do you know what I mean? So
that's so nice. A lot of artists don't do that, you know. It's like a thing like, oh, it makes me look famous. Like,
but it doesn't do you any good.
Yeah, true,
it's backwards.
You might as well just, you know, a little heart or whatever. No, that's really good. You've given so much in this interview, and it means so much to us as the fans and as people that are like, you know, here for you and here for your music. Just wanted to ask what we can do for you. So how can we, as people that love and support you, pray for you and encourage you?
I would love prayer. If anyone wants to pray with me, like, feel free.
What kind of prayer? Like, what can we pray? Any prayer requests?
I would say in working through ADHD symptoms in terms of making the music, especially because it's just like me on my own in this room. So like just like praying for strategies and stuff.
Yeah, that's good, guys. Pray for strategies
and also consistency with God. Like,
pray for consistency with God.
Yeah.
Staying at the root of your music and what you do. Yeah, 100%. We're here for it. And it's only the beginning of 2022. I don't know when you guys are going to watch and hear this, but what can we look forward to seeing between now, maybe in the next few months, next few years? Anything that you want to share? What can we be looking forward to?
Like, it's funny that you said that I kind of share a lot on wholeness and like other stuff. I feel like I'm not sharing that much. So I definitely want to like ramp it up, but also like take things like a lot deeper in terms of what's the word? Like just meeting up with people, whether that's online or in person, and just like actually getting to know everyone a lot better. So so like sessions and stuff like that, like sessions.
Oh, nice. I love that you have like things that you're passionate about outside of music that also kind of bleed into the music anyway, but even just like wholeness and emotional issues and life, having those discussions is kind of separate from the music, so people can connect you on that way as well as the music. We have the project coming out when, I mean...
it's just not recorded.
We were like writing stuff, right?
Yeah, it's most of it's written. I probably need to upgrade my mic and my recording equipment because everything's just sounding dusty right now.
So pray against the dust.
Yeah.
Pray against.
Once I upgrade my equipment, I'll start recording it properly.
Okay. So no dates are gonna be.
No.
That's okay. And you mentioned before the interview, and you can say as much as you want, but you know, earlier this year we heard like, oh my gosh, you've been signed to the HFP music label, like the HFP family. We're friends with the label. Like we've interviewed Ray, Series 2, and they've just been really big on like pushing female talent. How has that been, and what's going on with that?
So I'm independent again now, which like I have a lot of love for HFP. Genuinely, and I'm glad that we're cool with each other. But I think just like for me being independent, I realize it's just so much. It just makes a lot more sense, especially like on the business level. And I think that's something that I had not yet researched or gotten into clue with, was just the difference between being independent and being signed. And what that does on a like even just financial level kind of thing. Because as an artist, I've grown up. I get my royalties, so like. I didn't fully deep what certain things would look like.
It's your percentage. Enjoy.
So I think they were kind enough to let me readdress certain things after signing, and so like for that I'm so grateful. Yeah,
amazing. So that's just one element of the whole journey that you're kind of learning more about.
Yeah, now I know like how important the business side of music is. Yeah.
Especially if you're going to do it as like a career.
Yeah, thing. Exactly. Me not having another job. I was thinking, wait, how am I going to eat?
What are we eating today?
No, genuinely.
Maybe I'll just sing for my food, you know? I'll just sing.
Yeah, so I feel like the stereotype is that like label artists have more money because they have bigger numbers, but that's just not necessarily true.
Yeah, especially when you've been the one kind of building the fan base, building the artist numbers, and then it's like, oh, where is my money? That was nice. Yeah, I think especially because you're doing it full time. Like if you were doing something else, like you could just be doing it for the love of God and stuff. But like, I'm actually so rude. For the love of God, you still need to pay your bills. So no, that makes complete sense. And we're just really glad that everyone's on good terms, because that's one thing about the Christian industry that can be a bit techie sometimes when it's related to like, this is ministry, but it's also like your livelihood.
Yeah.
So
100%.
No, amazing. Again, thank you so much for speaking to us. I honestly could speak to you more and more, especially when you talk about like your testimony, when you talk about emotional healing. I'm like, please say more. I want to hear more. Like, I feel like I could see you giving talks and stuff like that on this.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Would you go to events and like maybe speak and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, I feel like more people need to know that like, that's something you're not just interested in. She's also well read in it. Like, you don't just like talk.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just be talking on this here internet. People just be opening their mouths and talking. Whereas you share resources. I think you shared a book. There was a book about you were talking about female sexuality, I think.
Oh yeah.
And you shared a book. And I was like, nobody be sharing books these days. Like, I love books. Oh yeah,
because you're a book reader.
I'm really big on books. So when people share books, I'm like, okay, you're not just, opening your mouth.
Yeah.
Because let's be serious though. Like, if it's like something like medicine or like, you can't just like it's actually illegal. You can't just be getting up and talking. But when it comes to Christian things, we think, oh, this person's a Christ follower. True. They can say anything. You have to be so careful.
That's why I love learning from experts. Like, even like reading books on relationships and stuff. I love learning from people who have given like counselling to couples over like years. Do you know what I mean? They're not just saying, oh my gosh, this is me and my husband, this is what we do. No, like they've actually helped couples through issues. So,
and different couples as well, because everyone's different.
Exactly. Hearing from experts is the best.
No, that's good. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think people need to know the extent of like how well read you are about these topics, and that you can actually speak on them.
Do you know what it is? Like, I don't know if you have this as well, but I need to make more notes. So I don't have to read a book again.
Yeah, that's me. I take pictures of like paragraphs.
Oh really?
Yeah, because
because you read physical books.
I read physical books, yeah.
Are
you
a book girl?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you have to like make a voice note or something.
Yeah, or sometimes I'll buy the Kindle as well, so I can listen and read, because it just helps with attention span.
That's how I read. Oh my god, that's how I read the Bible.
Oh really?
On my phone, I like read. I read it in black screen, white text. I read it and I listen to it at the same time.
My
god! Sorry, no one else. Everyone is like, "Why can I hear what you're reading?" I'm like, I have to. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to get the word.
Yeah, it helps it stay.
No one ever gets it. Oh my god! I feel seen. I can honestly go on and on, but like, I will let you go. Where can we find you? Find your music and keep up with you?
Pretty much every platform. Asha Elia, search it up, and I'll be there. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Asha. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Paula.
Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, make sure to leave a like rating wherever you're listening to this, and to follow us on Instagram at SheHH Podcast.